It's Tuesday, January 6th. I'm meteorologist Kayla Mitchell in the CTV News Atlantic Weather Center. There are parts of the Maritimes seeing some flurries and some light snow today on Tuesday, but it's a bit more of a significant wintry mix of weather coming in for parts of the region on Wednesday, especially southern areas of New Brunswick and maybe some western parts of Prince Edward Island. So we'll be talking about that as we go through this outlook. In the meantime, as we're looking at things on satellite and radar, areas that have seen some light snow and some flurries today include much of the west of Nova Scotia, where there is a potential that it amounts to as much as around 1 to 5 centimeters locally. Our next weather system, though, is making its way through southern Ontario. And this has brought a wintry mix to parts of southern Ontario as well, including some freezing rain warnings. And we're going to have to watch for some freezing rain with this one for parts of the region as it arrives from the Maritimes on Wednesday. In the meantime, for the remainder of Tuesday around the region, during the afternoon, cloudy with sunny breaks, still with some light snow and some flurries drifting across the west of Nova Scotia. This evening and tonight, mostly cloudy, and temperatures not as cold as the nights were this past weekend into the start of this week. We are looking at some overnight low temperatures, though, for most of the region. That'll be falling down to and below the freezing mark by several degrees still for Prince Edward Island, southern and central areas of New Brunswick, and even colder than that across the northern half of New Brunswick with some lows between -10 and -15. But let's jump forward in the forecast and talk about the arrival of that weather system on Wednesday. It does develop in the south of New Brunswick morning through afternoon as a mixture of snow turning through ice pellets and over to some freezing rain. The greatest risk of freezing rain for the Maritimes is basically going to be Wednesday morning through Wednesday afternoon. After that, cold air is expected to move back in Wednesday evening and Wednesday night and turn that freezing rain back over to a period of snow. It is expected to be accumulating snow, though, especially around the southeast of New Brunswick and into western Prince Edward Island before it winds down to some flurries in the early morning hours of Thursday. Now, the risk of freezing rain is going to be highest for a few areas in the Maritimes in particular. The southern half of New Brunswick from the Bay of Fundy coastline all the way up towards Fredericton, and then the higher terrain in northern eastern areas of Nova Scotia, so the more mountainous areas in Cumberland-Colchester counties, as well as up in the Cape Breton Highlands. Here's a closer look at a point in the southeast of New Brunswick, and you can see that even though the freezing rain may start off light at first in the morning hours, it potentially picks up a little bit moving through the afternoon, and there are areas of New Brunswick that could see some ice accumulation of up to around a few millimeters. Now, that's not ice storm criteria, but it is enough certainly to create some slippery, icy surfaces around that part of the province. And then remember, the freezing rain is expected to turn back over to that period of accumulating snow as we move through Wednesday evening, Wednesday night. And there is the possibility that central, southeastern areas of New Brunswick could pick up some snowfall amounts in the range of around 5 to 15 centimeters and maybe even 5 to 10 centimeters in western parts of Prince Edward Island, including in and around the Summerside area. That is a little bit of a shift towards the south for where the snow was expected with this weather system from yesterday. Yesterday, it looked like it was mostly going to fall across northern areas of New Brunswick, now central, southeastern parts of that province, and maybe parts of western PEI. Now, because of that wintry mix in the forecast, Environment Canada has already issued a weather statement across the southern half of New Brunswick, spanning from Wednesday morning into Thursday morning. The potential 4 to 6 hours of freezing rain. Again, that period of highest risk of freezing rain, mostly Wednesday morning through Wednesday afternoon. And then the potential for some overall snowfall accumulations between 10 and 15 centimeters. You can find news and weather updates anytime at ctvnewsatlantic.ca.